But before we do any of that, let's jump into the Roto-World player news. For all your player news, go to NBCSports.com because a lot of injuries to go through as we start with the ones we're tracking for Saturday. Lamar Jackson and Odell Beckham, they are out because of rest. Zay Flowers is doubtful with a calf. Noah Brown is out with a back injury. Zach Moss with the forearm. Questionable here, Matthew. I think the most notable one in terms of the game actually meaning something are the two on the bottom there, Noah Brown and Zach Moss, and how Moss's injury could have a trickle effect on the Colts' backfield.
You certainly expect a ton of Jonathan Taylor against the Texans in a must-win game for Indianapolis. And Noah Brown, look, we will foreshadowing here, but like you can run on the Colts, so you expect a heavy dose of Devin Singletary here. But with no Noah Brown, I think Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz both step up. We'll talk about both those guys coming up a little bit later in the show as well. But I think Noah Brown is very significant, again, for Nico Collins and the Texans offense.
All right, so we move to Sunday's games. A lot of limiteds here. The only full that we have is Courtland Sutton out of the concussion protocol. He's expected to play. Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk for Jacksonville, both limited. Jaden Reed, limited as well with that chest injury. Sam Laporta, Devon Achan's been dealing with the toe injury for a while. He's limited. Kenneth Walker with the shoulder. Isaiah Pacheco with the shoulder. Travis Kelce with a neck injury. Baker Mayfield, limited yesterday, but he's looked pretty good today. As we
I think all these guys play. The two ones that I have, and we'll talk about this in a second here, Pacheco and Kelce are the two that would give me the most concern. Also, Lawrence, Jay, as we talked about yesterday, DraftKings doesn't think he's playing in terms of the line movement. The sports books don't think Trevor Lawrence is playing, or if he is, he's going to be very limited by injury.
That's the thing, is that even if he does play, how much better is a wounded Trevor Lawrence than CJ Beathard, who's been fine in the times he's had to come in. But Lawrence, the line moved from, it was 5.5, 6 down to right now it's 3.5 Jags favored on the road at Tennessee. So certainly some doubt over Lawrence if he does go and if he is able to go, what he looks like.
So the most concerning ones for Sunday we pivot to here. Jalen Waddle has not practiced with that ankle. Raheem Mostert with the knee injury, he still has not practiced. Devontae Smith with the ankle, not practicing. Same for T. Higgins and Alvin Kamara as well. Rashee Rice there, Matthew, monster week last week. He has not practiced with a hamstring. That's a big one for the Chiefs.
Again, the Chiefs are generally going to rest all their guys. So that's why we think Pacheco, Kelce, and Rashee Rice, if they play, it'll be very limited. That maybe they play the first quarter, a couple of series, but not the full game. Waddle and Mostert, we don't expect to play. And I don't know if you're playing in a Week 18 final, you can risk it. That's the Sunday night game right here on NBC and Peacock. Of course, I'm a company man. It'll be a great game, Bills-Dolphins, but you won't likely know until Sunday night, and then you may not just have a pivot. So if you do decide to roll the dice on Waddle and Mostert, we get some more positive news between now and game time on Sunday. And we'll track all this, of course, on Fantasy Football pregame Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on Peacock and the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. We'll track all this. But unless we get more positive news and you can sort of say, well, maybe it's worth the risk to go there, then you sort of pivot. The other two that were on that list that sort of jump out at you is Amari Cooper. Again, the Browns are kind of resting guys. Joe Flacco's not going to play. So it feels weird that they would let Amari Cooper, who missed last week.
I'd be stunned if Amari
Cooper
would
makes no sense.
Yeah, and Keenan Allen as well. Again, he's missed so much time. You know, it's a lost season for the Chargers. It's a, interim coach. It's the whole thing's a disaster. I'd be shocked if Keenan Allen plays.
Yeah, and with Keenan Allen's cap hit next year, they need to figure out, either fix that cap hit. I don't think they're going to move on from such a special player, but his health in a meaningless game it needs to be the priority.
Yep, no, you would think so. And just lastly, Connie, you touched on how Baker Mayfield, who was limited yesterday, this morning, there's video of him and the reports are from the beat reporters that he is practicing without limitation. Like, he just looks like Baker Mayfield is throwing it deep. I'd be stunned if he didn't play, given there's supposed to be nothing structurally wrong with his rib.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.